Hey guys, it's Miss Savanchi. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the Vietnam War. First, let's go over a question that a lot of you missed on the Vietnam War reading. Vietnam is actually in Asia. I don't know why, but a lot of you put that the Vietnam War was fought in the United States. The United States did take part in it, but it was actually fought in Vietnam, and Vietnam is in Asia. Actually, this part right here is along the Pacific. And then this part right here is Cambodia. This is Laos. Up here is China. So there again, it is in Asia. So actually Vietnam used to be owned by the French, and it was called French Indochina. If you remember, we did actually label that on a map, and a lot of you couldn't figure out where it was. So because it was owned by because it was owned by the French, and after World War II, the French are going to come in and try and take it back from the Japanese. We're going to see that Ho Chi Minh doesn't want the French nor the Japanese in Vietnam. He wants Vietnam to be a free country. And so it was right after World War II that he and his rebels began fighting against the Japanese. And once they dispelled the Japanese, the French are going to, there again, try and come back in. And he's also going to defeat them at Dien Bien Phu, which is like right up here, right along the Cambodian border. Now, once he dispelled the French for the last time, we're going to see that the United States is afraid that China is going to come in and make it communist. So there again, we're going to see that the domino theory comes into play. And I also have that right here, my nice little drawing. So here's Vietnam. This is your domino. And America believed that once this domino fell against Cambodia, Thailand, Burma, India, all of them are going to fall to communism. There again, that's what the Cold War was about. We don't want communism to spread. So once Ho Chi Minh defeated the French at Dien Bien Phu and they're successful, he's going to think that they can now invade the southern part of Vietnam. There again, at this point in time, it's only one Vietnam. Well, once he decides to invade South Vietnam, the United States and the UN put a different ruler in South Vietnam. So you will see Ho Chi Minh is going to be in charge of North Vietnam, and Ngo Dinh Diem is going to be in charge of South Vietnam. Just like Korea, they have real names, not just North and South. So North Vietnam is going to be the Democratic Republic of Vietnam. South Vietnam is going to be the Republic of Vietnam. Very similar to Korea. If you remember, in Korea, Korea was called the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. And then South Korea was named the Republic of Korea. So very, very similar. And North was communist. South, they wanted to be democratic. Now, once the North Vietnamese began invading the South and America came in, America believed that this was going to be a very short war. Well, once the United States, the United Nations joined South Vietnam, we're going to see that, of course, Russia and China get involved with North Vietnam. Now, one thing that was different about this war than Korea was there were a lot of people in South Vietnam that did not agree with the United States coming in. They actually wanted communism. And the people in South Vietnam that fought against the U.S. and the United Nations, they were known as the Viet Cong. So if you look up here, you can see Viet Cong. So they're going to fight with guerrilla warfare. So guerrilla warfare is really just hit and run tactics. So guerrilla warfare, you're going to be hiding. No one's going to know where you're at. And as soon as you attack, you're going to leave. That's where those Cu Chi tunnels came. And then, of course, all those different booby traps. So if you remember, you had the punji sticks. Punji sticks aren't going to kill you right away, but you are going to get an infection because a lot of times at the tip, they had feces or urine. And so when it stuck you, you're going to get an infection there. Another one was the grenade in a can. And so they would take the top off, stick the grenade in a can, and when you trip the wire, the grenade would go off. Another one, which a lot of you mentioned, was the bamboo whip. So the bamboo whip is that piece of bamboo with the sharpened bamboo, and it had a trip wire on it. And when you walked, it kind of cuts you in half. But there were a lot of others. You had the mace, the tiger trap. The tiger trap actually didn't have anything to do with the tiger. But all of those things had to do with guerrilla warfare. And so in this guerrilla warfare, there again, the Viet Cong used the guerrilla warfare. And the Viet Cong are the communists in the South. So a lot of people believed that the Viet Cong are kind of like traitors, you could say. There's a